So, question is, violence is a continuous thing, killing and counter-killing. In Kashmir, in Manipur, I went to Manipur, again the same thing. In Chhattisgarh, in Telangana, in many places, killing has been routine. The other day, the Prime Minister suggested we should have counter-terrorist wardens. What does it mean, the counter-terrorist wardens? Who should be counter-terrorist wardens? You and I? We take the role of counter-terrorist wardens. I don't know. The Prime Minister suggested that. What happened in Kashmir? We made an experiment some years ago. We had arrested a large number of Kashmiris. They were all rotting in the jail. They were confined to the jail. And what we did was, our government said, brainwash them. Told them, you go back. And go back and tell the people they should not fight like this. They should be afraid. They should change their attitude towards India. Do that. But they said, if we go, we will be attacked. So the government, what the government did, we'll give them guns. So the people who went back were given guns. And I remember during one of those elections, our People's PUDR, the Democratic Rights Organization, brought a report. And there was voting at that time which said gunpoint, voting with gunpoint. There was an army gunpoint from the militants. There was a gunpoint from the security force. There was a gunpoint from the military, from the other railway, other security officials. And there was a gunpoint by these people. Would that solve a problem? Violence against violence. Again, what we did in Chhattisgarh the other day. Chhattisgarh, there are Maoists are there, Naxalites are there. How to eliminate them? So we have started a brigade of tribals. Over 5,000 tribals were asked to join. And then they called it Salwa Junoon. And with the result, what happened was, all the tribals were killed, but the Naxalites are still there. This is the kind of thing that we are thinking. So what I'm trying to say is, not a single terrorist in this country has been tried or convicted. Nothing is of the kind. What we have done is only killing. In Bombay, for example, bomb blast took place in 93. Conviction, of course, still we don't know. Conviction, the real culprit, where are the real culprits, one doesn't know. Of course, people who have been rotting in jail for 13 years and so on. Tomorrow is supposed to be the D-Day, the Judgment Day. I don't know whether the judgment will come or not. This is the kind of thing. And again, you'll find in Akshardham, there was an attack. Again, who are the culprits? They were shot dead. In Parliament attack, who are the culprits? We don't know. We shot them dead. This is the kind of thing that we are doing. So we have only violence as in answer to violence. That is all this kind of thing. Even after 9/11, what did Bush do? He declared a war. War against whom? War against terrorists. War against Osama bin Laden. What did he do? He bombarded Afghanistan. He killed a large number of poor people. No one is sure whether Osama bin Laden was killed or not, but a large number of innocent people died. So also in Iraq, they said, okay, Taliban are in Iraq. They also said Iraq has got what we call weapons of mass destruction. No evidence of that. And yet, of course, in fact, the evidence has come, there are no Taliban also there in Iraq. And yet, what he did was bombarded, war against Iraq. Large number of innocent people died. The number lost to terrorist atrocities in New York, on the World Trade Center coming down, is less than a tenth of the toll in Iraq, that kind of killing. If there is anyone who can be called a terrorist, I said this in an earlier occasion, and I repeat again, if there is anyone who can be called a terrorist, it should be George W. Bush. He has declared a war, and it is not a war according to law. It is an unjust war, and not according to the international law. And everyone has a right to protest against that war. If anyone could protest, anyone could condemn that kind of war, be a Hindu, Christian, Muslim, fundamentalist, or otherwise. You have a right to protest. Just because we protest and condemn, we cannot be considered as terrorists. One of the most difficult problems is to define terrorism. See, we talk of terrorists. Where is the definition of terrorism? How do you define terrorism? Tada did not define terrorism. Porter did not define terrorism. Only terrorist acts were defined. And those acts could be even under the Indian Penal Code. They're not different. Murder, killing, dacoity, using guns, all are under the ordinary law. But you can, at the discretion of the police, they can use it as an act of terrorism under Tada law. If it could be broadly agreed that the deliberate killing of innocent civilians, you find this kind of definition in the dictionary, if it could be agreed that the deliberate killing of innocent civilians is a central element in most definitions of terrorism, then in that event, the worst terrorists of the last century should be the USA for bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where suffering of large number of innocent people has never been healed even after 6 decades. Just killed lakhs of people in these two places. So also, the worst violators of the 21st century as it began are the USA and Great Britain. There's not much difference between George W. Bush and Lashkar-e-Taiba. Both believe in killing. Killing helps them. Killing keeps alive the tension in this region. That is what they want. That is their business. So the USA has a business of encouraging killing everywhere. It gives them a market. It gives them a market for supply of arms. So also Lashkar-e-Taiba believe in killing. It gives them a market. So while both seek to wield power, one of course with the superior power of USA, and the other of course trying to build up his own other category of power. So it has become the global war. In this way, as again, terrorism becomes a permanent feature of these persons. In other words, the permanent feature of American policy is a global war. It will never come to an end. As long as the fear of terrorism is there, they're happy. As a result of this, what is happening in the rest of the world is that freedom and liberty gets curtailed. We are now gradually sliding into what is called a security society. Today, as you must have seen as we walked in, what happened to all of us? Everyone had to have a checkup. Because security.